Hello and welcome, as today's date is that of the 12th of December 2018. My name is Derek, all bets trades of the like within one's own risk reward. Some coins that have been mentioned in the comments here and there. Ontology has been one recently, which is now back to the area in which it came from. The key area of support here, which was a resistance at this level, found a little bit of support on the 20th of November, but all it did was come back to where it came from and then resisted the 18 band again. The next time it came down to where the bottom low happened to come in at, it stayed there for about a week through time. Now 4 straight days going down, and now about another good week or so grinding lower on microscopic volatility. And there's been a lot of these microscopic volatilities in here from like October down to here, down in here, all of those days, and it had a extreme massive move down lower. People would have been saying that the 6,000 handle was down a lot, and then at 4,000, then at 2,000 and change, and of course it goes down then to 17. Now, as I talk about within the movements of trading and the game of trading, for it as another way of referencing it, we got bulls having their turns in the bears. So the bulls had the turn on the April Fool's rally from March 21st up to June. So it started a little earlier because most coins on April the 1st ish, pretty much that day, started to have a good rally, and then it continued on to the entire month, and a lot of them topping April 30th, May 1st, 3rd, 4th ish time frame. But this ended up topping in the 7th of June or around that date. And so the bulls turned and the bears had a turn, and the bulls had their turn in 2 days, and that or 3 or 4 days rather, from August 14th ending on August 17th. But when you can have price action go from, again, 17 and a half, do better than double, it's a pretty poor turn to say the least. And then the bears have taken over, and they haven't passed the dice. As we look at the situation now, there's no signs of this bear market ending anytime soon. What did I do with my ontology? I just happened to type in ONT on the Cryptopia where they have a Litecoin exchange, and I noticed they just opened up the coin, so I thought let's just transfer coins over there, which I did. I'll now trade this against Litecoin, and it took about 30 minutes to transfer the coins. It was a very efficient trade, but it wouldn't be a surprise that all the markets go up together. This will do its thing and go up as well. And then you have your lone wolves, or the ones that happen to do well when the rest of the market isn't so much. And this at any time could have a decent sized rally where maybe this goes up and comes back and maybe tests at even at the 2600, and from that would be a decent gain, maybe even gets above to 3500 and does this over a 1 day or 1 week or even a 1 month period. And I don't know how long it would take because Theta did it in 1 day recently, so it can happen very fast when it wants to, but at any time it can do such an event. And I'm never here to try to predict or figure out when those moves are going to happen, but just be ready for the situation in case it does. And then if I see events like that happening, adjust my decisions for my portfolio as I think they need to be desired. But right now, after this down move, you can see that it's just been grinding its way through time. So it's had enough time to digest this move, going from 2,000 down to 1,500. A little bit of a rally failed immediately with 2 periods bringing it down. The sideways low movement, then grinding it, that move lower, going sideways. So at this stage, if you're trying to enter portfolios, and well, let's just put it this way. If I'm trying to get into the game and enter coins and I don't own any and I just want to buy 10, 20, 50 or however many I want to buy, I don't want to be buying them when I'm seeing them rallying like this. I just know, oh my goodness, like if you're back in here and you're seeing the market like this, so I mean this can come down to here, and if you put buy orders to fill that, then it would work. And then you'd be like, okay, so 4,000, so maybe you'd enter the game in here, and oh, you'd be buying, and then all you would sell up to here was what you bought from like breaking down below here. So say you broke down at, or maybe starting at like here, 31, maybe you bought at 25, again at 22,000. So those ones might get sold. But all of these that you still would have bought, you're still looking to sell. And all it is, would have been right now is just buying. Every now and again, the movements are very low volatile. There's not many good up rallies that this thing has had for the most part. If you had your buy order in here at that 1940 level, you were able to get an instant move to 22. That's just barely 10% and a hair bit more up to 23.5. But again, when it's ready to go, it could go, but at what price point will it do it at? 1,500 and change, 1,200, 1,000, 500. Fibonacci downside from this low to this high is represented in at that of 1,000. So that will be it for Ontology. Cardano is another one. And it's been definitely getting its ass kicked big time from the April Fool's rally high, which has came in at over 4,000, now down below 900. So that's close to a 5x reduction. It's had a few small rallies, but definitely way below satisfactory for every single one. As the interesting moves of the past, will they come back? Well, maybe. It has held and stayed above the lows from the start of December, the December lows, because all the markets went up in December. Again, that's what I have been waiting to see what could happen with the altcoins, and the best there ever has been is this April Fool's rally. So we can see here, April 1st, it pretty much is the bottom. It was prototype with all the rest. And then this topped pretty much right at the prototypical date that came in. And this move here, that was almost prototypical as well within the altcoins, because it was a straight up move from basically the end of the first week of December and nicely into January. For this case, it topped right on the New Year's time frame. But this is what the move was like. Now for me, I actually sort of did the same thing as this with Ontology. The only difference is I didn't move it on the blockchain because I noticed that the offer for me to take it on Cryptopia to buy with Litecoin was a little bit of a better deal than the actual Bitcoin price. So I was able to sell it on Binance, buy it on Cryptopia, and from this moment on we'll be trading it amongst the LTC exchange. And LTC has been not doing so well, or not doing as well either lately, barely at the 007 mark, or a ratio over 140 to Bitcoin. Although it's up 1%, probably in the last hour or so, because the last I checked it, which was then it was 707, now it's at 714. Either way, it's at the low end of this period that was just piercing in this area down below here. It's been in a downtrend for quite some time, ever since the February highs, and this one didn't have much of an April Fool's rally at all. In fact, it barely participated at all. It's now back down to this key area for which it came from. And if we calculate some Fibonacci on here, we got 298 and 2520. So the 674 number is a 38.2, and the 1115 so it's in that general area as it is now. And the 11 area, of course, on the way down wasn't support, but I've seen many times where the first level just goes through it, and if a key area is not support, then you pretty much got to target to the next one. So it's in or around that area, a match of the lows from last year, both at the October and in the December time frame. And within such an event with Litecoin, when you look at how these markets move, you can see this type of kind of move. It looks so bad, and then it just gets it all back really fast when the time is right. And although tough to see, a similar thing here back in 2014 to the 2015 bottom, fast move higher. Every single rally this has been fast, sharp. For the one in May, fast rally, and then a grind lower, making new lows, but taking A long time to do so when you consider the high was the summer of 2015 and the bottom was the spring of 2017. That was about 1 3/4 of a year. And then in just a little over a month, it gets all of it back pretty much. Markets go up a lot faster, at least against Bitcoin, than they go down. And then even this sharp rally down, sharp rally higher, sharp rally down, not as large of a move, but definitely sharp move higher, move lower, and then here, another sharp move from here, big move, sideways, final leg higher, and well, now it's been going down, so the turns, the bears and turns, the bulls, the bears, the bulls, and then within such, you have these quick little moves back and forth, but it means when markets go up, I'm going to be looking to sell for profit and then buy on the prices go lower. Price action hasn't been above the 18 average of highs on this time frame, which is the weekly, since near its top in February of this year. And it's due to do so. However, it will remain that until it goes up, and it's been due to go up even going back to the July. Now it's Christmas time. I might be saying the same thing in July with it at 005. Who knows at that time frame? But when it's ready to go, whether it's today, next week, next month, or well into 2019, it's probably going to have a very good move. Let's move on next to EOS, which 4-hour time frame, distinctively noticeable down move from the 8500 handle going down to the 47 and change. Since its bottom, it has established a level of resistance where it is currently at now, at the 57 and change mark. Beautiful correction within the 18, but we can see that over the last 3 periods how it's been having some nice moves towards the upside in the single hour. It managed to get or find some support on the 18 average of highs for 3 periods after it found resistance at that level for many other periods. Beautiful move up, nice sideways correction, close to that band again, and it's at that big key level. So this is a spot where at any given time this thing could have a nice little move, and I wouldn't be surprised over a series between 1 to 4 or 5 periods or 1 to 5 hours that this thing might be able to move to a noticeably good leg higher, which is around a little over or around 6,000 at a minimum level. And of course, when you look at this on a 4-hour term, and then you can see how, I mean, this thing could, 6,000 would be overall pretty conservative, or the lower end, because this thing could easily go to 68, as we can see here. But on the daily time frame, when I see a move that has just had a huge fall like this, and now all it's doing is getting the 18 average of lows, I'm going to be mainly looking to the 18 average of highs for a level of resistance, which comes in at around 62.5. So I think that would be a decent sized target. But if it doesn't find resistance in or about that area, then the move after that would be like going to like 7,000 as a conservative number, because after break 18 highs, where's the last place it came from? Well, that was 7. That's this little congestion for 3 hours here. That's the key low in here, and this primary area or key was about 8,000 even. And then a more aggressive, a conservative level, if the 18 highs is not resistance, is again at around this level, 68. Neutral one would be around 8,000-ish, maybe a hair above, and an aggressive one would be over 9,000 or towards that level, which is this resistance peak from the September trading level. And on the weekly term time frame, this thing has a great move up, downward correctionary move, up move, failed its correctionary move, and has continued the down move ever since. Its 18 average is coming in at around the 8,000 or so area. So that would be some possible areas. It's still really early to start talking about making moves over the 10 number, and even saying that right now It's in at the area of a bottom. However, when you look at this, you're like, oh, where do I put my buy order? Where previous support is in at about 5,400. Oh, okay. How'd you do on 50? Well, now the low comes in at 47.21. You'd be technically in and barely up at this point. And okay, if that's an entry position, I myself might be thinking, okay, maybe buy more at 3,000. That's what a decent leg lower would look like. And then adjust how you want to sell. Maybe you want to sell above the 18. If you're playing this really long term, maybe you don't want to sell this until close to 10,000. Of course, your trading strategy is for you to decide. I'm just going through different ideas more than anything, and over a long period of time. But you know what? Since I'm already at the 15 minutes mark, I might as well make this over 20. And Ravencoin I got into myself a few days ago. I'm going to be trading this against Litecoin. And the way I'm thinking about that is I got a decent amount of Litecoin, so I might as well at least be trading it on a market that way. Because obviously this gives me more Bitcoin allocation as well for being able to play more altcoins and different variety this way, especially on the down moves for Bitcoin. But for what it's worth, ever since Bitcoin has dropped, or ever since Bitcoin has hit like 5 or broken like 4,500-ish area, altcoins haven't been going down so much when Bitcoin fell to 3,200. But yeah, Ravencoin, I have entered into it. And as I was stating before, when the markets go up, I don't want to be buying when it's going up like this. So now I'm at the point where earliest position to buy is now. You can still get most likely cheaper prices. And I'm only looking at data going back just a short period of time, mid-October. I don't know how long this has been going on for. Does this have more data? It does. So we can see in here, okay, maybe we can count some Fibonacci, most certainly. We got a high here in at the even 1,000 handle. We got a low, looks like right around here, 207, so we'll do 210. Key numbers are 381 and 551. So here we are at that 381 point. 551 didn't offer any support at all. It was a large pierce above. It really don't even count that as a pierce. It offered resistance, but it did have that fast move towards the previous level. And breaking down below that, the next two levels would be the 23.6 and the previous low. So key areas would be the 300 handle, and then of course the previous low is in at 200. So those would be just key areas to look for if the decline continues. Next up is Stratus, which has got a very, very interesting setup, as it had to move up to this 18 average of highs, above the 18 average, not even close, up to this level of resistance. But now, for the last week or so, has been spending its time successfully where I say every single time it has a good break above to hold that 18 average. And for this being the 6th day, it has successfully done so. And this is coming after a very good size 2 days down. 4 hour time frame, it just kept on going after it topped. It gave back every single bit of its last leg higher, as we can see amongst such. But now we can see that it's managed to make a move, getting above the 18 average like it did before on the 10th of December at 3 o'clock. And it's a little bit of a statement, definitely something to look out for. We can see this just happened at the 9 o'clock hour timestamp. It's been holding it relatively well. Let's take a look at this 15 minutes. So now we've gotten the move. It's had the nice correction through time. Definitely seeing any type of large volume coming in. I would like the chances it would be going up, but even just seeing it go up to this higher level like 19.7. Let's take a look at this on Binance for some, might have more volume. Yeah. So there we have it. It's just consolidating its gains at this point. Very high volatile green and red choppy movements. And until we can get better determination for this move, because we can see support has been majorly short-term established, that if you see this thing starting to get falling over, definitely reason for concern that this move might be over. But resistance area, hasn't seen it in a while, but like 1951 to like 1956, getting above that. But when you do that, just think of when every time I say, oh, getting above this, well, that happened here. So there's a spot where people were buying because you had this move, you had the great correction area, and I would have been thinking at 1025 that that thing would be raring to go. But it obviously didn't. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna end the video soon. I got some sort of text message and my phone is charging at the other end of the room. So I'm gonna end this video soon after I've done this analysis. And again, so at this high, you would have thought it was gonna break through and it comes back. But what's it done? It's just stayed, hung in there. So that's a little bit optimistic again. But if I see this in the next 20 or so minutes start to get above here, I'll be looking for that leg higher. And then on that leg higher, oh, there's a great buy opportunity there. And then it's got the opportunity to fill some of this gap, which means you can go to 21, 24 if it feels more optimistic on that. Getting above here, you have the down move, establish resistance, come back to the band. It's got the potential to have monster moves where it's not likely by any means, but to go to the 27s, 30s, 40s in like a 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 day time frame. But again, holding this, very, very important, and I'm going to end this video now. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.